close to the Aegean star. We're being sucked into the red zone. We're being damaged and fire and shit. The engine core is overheating. The toast is broken. We don't even have a Breville. This is shit. This is like an episode of Blake 7. I mean, honestly. Fuck's sake. Shut up and sit down and have to deal with this bollocks. This is the Solar Storm Review. This is Who Dares Rolls TV. Hello and welcome to Who Dares Rolls TV. I'm your host Mike B. Today we are reviewing a game. Oh my god, shock horror. We're reviewing Solar Storm from Dranda Games. It's published kind of this year actually. It was kickstarted in around about September last year. It's coming out in the next month or so to retail in this lovely box format, or it will be available in a special edition from Dranda Games' own website, which is like the Kickstarter edition, which has got some screen printed mintables, some extra expansion cards and bits and pieces thrown into the box for a bit more money. I think about 30 quid or so. So there you go. So that's what's going on with that. So Solar Storm, what is it? It is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. Essentially what the idea, the theme behind the game is, which kind of drew me in, was you're on a space research vessel. Its orbit is decaying. It's falling into the center of a star, a sun. It's going to be incinerated. So you and your able-bodied crew are running around the ship, essentially trying to repair modules on it and divert the power into the central energy core of the ship to allow you to boost off into the stratosphere, escape, and not be incinerated. So that's it. So lovely. I will go you through an overview, which I've got some bits and pieces of that to just give you an idea how it plays. And then we will return here to this point of the desk, and I will give you my thoughts and opinions and stuff. And I will have a sup while I'm waiting for that to happen. And have fun. So yeah, I was enticed by the theme, the look of it. I'd been hinted at it by Andy Hopwood, who'd said, "Oh, you want to check this game out?" It's Aidan Lowther, who's the designer, has designed this really cool game. Andy's a great designer. I love his stuff. He's done a bunch of stuff like Daring Dust Bunnies. Now I feel bad for Andy now. I've just paused. There's a bunch of stuff he's done. Okay, 6 was really good. It's a dice card game thing. I'm going to try and. I'm going to move on fast before I embarrass myself any further. Setup is basically the same every time you play it. Is you're going to set the game up with the energy core in the center of the room, and then surrounding it is a bunch of rooms. All of them, if you will look closely, will, as you can see, have a special ability that they do when you you use them. You can only use a room when it is fully powered, which means it's got 3 of these cubes on it. It's not damaged in any way. If they are not on there, then you can't do that. Every round is going to be pretty much the same. Is each character, each person will have an option. They will use 3 actions. Of those actions, what they can do is they can move, which was just 1 move into an adjacent room. They can repair a room. Any room that's missing any cubes off of it, as we can see here, is damaged. You would have to trade in a resource card, and I'll show you some of them in a second. There they flash up on the screen. A research card matching that room. So in this case, it's a blue thing. I would get rid of a data chip card. That would do it. I would then allow me to pop the cube back onto there. What we're also looking to do is trade in 3 cards matching these symbols here. That will allow us to divert the power from that room into the energy core, which we'll put a chip down on there to show us that we've done that. When the power is diverted in the room, it has a couple of advantages to us. Number 1, to repair the room now in future turns, we'll only take a meeple in there, a character in there, but they only take any one of the 3 symbols on that room. Any one of those cards would repair all the cubes in it. So it's a 1-hit action. Much easier. Otherwise, it will take you 1 action to do every single repair normally. Which brings me to the subject of how you're going to die in this game. So there's a couple of ways you're going to cark it. Number 1, if a room is completely damaged and then receives a further damage, then it's game over for you. If the resource deck ever runs out of cards, it's game over. And if the damage deck ever reaches the bottom card, which is the Hull breach card, which I'm going to put down here. Once that card's up, you just basically roll the dice. Bad. It just burns through resource cards. It's terrible. You don't want that. Chances are you're not going to get to that card because you're probably going to blow up first before that happens, or run out of resource cards. So on your turn, you can scavenge, which will allow you to roll this rather lovely, tasteful green dice. And when you roll it, like so, if you roll a 3, a 4, or 5, you can take one card from the resource deck, or a 6 will allow you to take 2 cards from the resource deck. The only other thing you can do is you can share resources if you're in the same room with another character, which is the resource cards, or you can save an action, which means that you pass and you'll get one of these chits, which means on a further subsequent turn you can take extra actions. Can sometimes be very helpful. Then what happens, there's a second phase and a third phase. The second phase is you take resources. So you can take 1 face-up card from the resource deck or 2 for blind. Your hand limit is 6 cards, so you have to be aware of that. You go over it, you have to discard extra cards. And then the second phase, or the third phase in actual fact, of this thing is to damage the ship, which we would turn over one of the ship damage cards. And in this case, it would damage the bridge for 1. The damage deck is made up of sets of cards similar to a lot of these things like Eldritch Horror and stuff. There is an escalating level of bad cards here. There's level 3 damage cards at the bottom, level 2s, level 1s. I think there's about 8 cards. I'm going to say there's 8 cards of each type. So that's it. That's pretty much how the game works. So there you go. There's my overview of Solar Storm. And I've said it at the start and I'll say it again. Really, this is the tiny epic pandemic, but it's not copyright. But essentially that's what it is. It is the pandemic experience, a big box pandemic or forbidden experience in a small box. And if you're in the market for that, then this does that very well. You get a lot of good components in there. It's a stacked box of stuff. Everything's really good quality. The cards, everything really great. All quality of all of them, meeples, cubes, everything, all top drawer. So it's all good. For Dranda Games, the first game out the gate, it's set a really great benchmark for it, of quality and great stuff. Rulebook's really light and simple to pick up and read. It takes you at max 10 minutes to run through and get an idea of it, and a couple more minutes to teach. It's very straightforward. So all of that are all really plus points. If you're in the market, as I say, for that experience, but in a smaller box and a portable box, then yes, this ticks all those boxes. And all of that, I will say, is brilliant about it. If I've got negative points on it, the real few things that really comes down on it where I kind of go, yeah, it's the theming. I love the theme. That's what really drew me to it in the first place, is the art design and the theme. I thought, brilliant. I love the idea of that. I liked the movie Sunshine. And I kind of felt that we were going to get some of that, and it didn't transfer into the box. It's little things that I think could have been tweaked just to give us that more idea of that temperature rising, the heat element of the ship. So like even the damage markers, where they're coming off of the board and showing the damage to the ship. Maybe if it'd been reversed and they'd been going on to show the heat rising, would have been just a nice little thematic tie into that. And maybe just more of that sort of, just those little bits. And that would have really been better, in my opinion. It would have worked. It would have sold that theme more. Whereas it stands at the moment, like a lot of these sort of cooperative sort of these types of games, and even the original Pandemic, the point is more mechanical process. It's more of a you're going through the motions, you're doing the stuff, and the kind of the theme sort of slides away. Now Legacy pulled it back. Pandemic Legacy did pull it back and had that theme in it, and even based Pandemic, the theme does kind of mesh in that you're dealing with those viruses and that it does work. Whereas this, it kind of feels like a one of those systems, but the theme is just kind of dissipates as you play, which is a shame, because everything else is really great on it. And just if we could have just kind of tied a bit more of that in, I think it would have been knocked out of the park. So if you're definitely in the market for that small box pandemic-ish experience, then yes, that is what you've got there. If you're looking for a highly thematic, that ship plunging to Inferno, it's not there, which is a shame for me. So I come down on it. It's a good game. It's a solid game with solid components. I really enjoy it. It's not one I would heartily recommend purely because of the theming in it. That's where I drop off the radar on it. Aside from that, though, solid effort, solid game. It's not a terrible game. It's not a bad game. It's very enjoyable. The solo play is fantastic. Really works really well as a solo game. Really tight sort of puzzle to resolve. As a co-op game, it again works very well as this sort of cooperative element. You have to work together to solve this thing. You're not going to do it any other way. And it's tough. It's a tough beast. So it's definitely something that's going to challenge you. A lot of variety in there. Another negative point is there is obviously a deluxe version of this you can pick up. For about a 10 or more. So it puts it more towards a big box territory release. And really all you're getting for that extra money is an extra set of cards for rooms. I think about 8 more rooms, which add a chunk of variety, certainly, and screen-printed meeples. Again, I think really it's a missed opportunity not to have those extra rooms in this box, even if it had pushed the price point up a couple of bits. Don't junk the meeples, but have the extra rooms in there, because that extra variety would just extend the play of this thing. And I'm not sure that the extra £10 price point really is the value if you're going to get it. I mean, it's fine in the base game, and there's plenty of variety in there to play with. The room layout is always different, and the stack of the damage control things is going to be fairly mixed. A lot of random, certainly. You would get bitched some games where just those cards are just not laid in the way you want. That is the nature of the beast of these sort of things. So there's that lot of random elements, but it still works. But yeah, definitely the base game for 20 quid is a good value game. I'm not sure the big box is as much value because it's really not adding a lot. And as I say, if they could have been in this box, I think that would have made this even more of a more tantalizingly worthwhile purchase at the full price. But yeah, it's a British designer. First time out the gate, I think they've done a damned good effort. Really good stuff, and I really would be interested to see what Dranda do next, because they've certainly, they've shown their gaming chops in regards to a solid, tight design with simple rulebook that does the job. There's no real trips up over there. There's no mess. It's a lean beast. But yeah, get that theme. Nail the theme next time. Keep us theme-hungry gamers happier, and we'll be happier. So there we go. There is Solar Storm. So pick through that nonsense and see if you can get an opinion on it. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, you can like and share and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. There's the website, whodesrolls.com, which has got even more plethora? That's not even a word. A plethora of reviews and stuff and bits and pieces on there, and things. Thank you for tuning in. I've been Mike B. Until next time, there will be a next time.